indications that there hasn't been a report yet on gas. So I know gas is today also. Um, Basically, we just go with the websites that we trust. And if we think there is an issue that we're not, if I think I'm not sure, then I'll do a deeper dive into um, the report and I'll look for the agency that releases the report and I'll look for their website. And, if my boss doesn't correct me and everybody loses money, that's not a good thing because we didn't have the time right. So I didn't look at FX Street. Also, Financial Juice, because they have a squawk box, we'll have a heads up from them. If there's any doubt about the report not coming out, we'll know because I'll be listening to them. But I'm comfortable that we've got the schedule right. I don't know if I can last for 2 hours in the trade room. I'm pretty tired. So welcome to the trade room, folks. Flash Manufacturing Services is our first trade. This is an unofficial trade. My name is Lee Goldstein. I'm the trading director at 10-Minute Trades. Remember that all trades are for educational purposes. So please trade carefully. It is possible to lose money trading futures. So the markets are going to get very volatile because it's 9:30. The market's going to open. So we're still, I feel like I'm still testing this report because even though we realize this report has a good success rate, um, since the world crisis began, I'm not sure that I'm 100% on what is the best index at this moment for this report. Because of the crisis, we've been trading the ES. This was November. Now, November, I traded gold. So let's take a look. Nope, I take that back. We traded ES. Sorry. Looking at gold on the right. Oh, I remember what happened. This was such a rarity. My trade got canceled because I couldn't get my orders on the chart fast enough. Look how fast the news came out in November. That is the first time in the history of this report I've ever seen anything like that. It's not usually that fast a report. Let's look at October. See, we didn't trade this in December because it was too close to Christmas. Let me just check one thing. Bear with me. So we don't have a lot of time for this report. So this is an unofficial report. So I'm going to do one more test on this report because I am going to trade existing homes. At least I'm pretty sure I am. Oil and gas. So if I was going to trade gold, let's look at October. We've been doing so much testing on this darn report. And that's what the world crisis has done to us. It's taken some of these small reports that we were trading regularly before the crisis, and it's changed a lot of them. It has changed a lot of them. Gold tried to work in September. It hit the first target. And we used a 6 tick bracket, which makes sense. So if I were gonna trade this on gold, and I prefer to trade this on gold than I prefer to trade it on the ES. I prefer it on gold. Chantal, did you see what I typed? So if I were going to trade this, so we have a lot of things I wanted to talk about. There's a lot of things to look at. So if I were going to trade this, I would set up a 6 tick bracket on gold, which might not even be enough. Jaquan, that was one of my questions. Did you look at the Eurozone trades today? Let's talk about them after existing homes. So I'm going to do one more test of this report today. And I'm going to test the ES and gold. And then I'm going to look back at all of the trades in the crisis time and try to see if we can make a decision if this is tradable or not. Okay. And then right after this, we have existing homes. So this is going to be quick. Target of 4, target of 10 on gold, stop of 10, bracket of 6, entry time of 9:45. Label it GC flash manufacturing. Okay. Simple setup, not a complicated setup. Now the ES, I also want to record this. I'm not frozen, Dave. I wasn't a second ago. No, I'm not frozen. It's moving. It's quiet. It's quieter than I would have thought. So that's my gold trade. My ES trade, and the ES is just very volatile from the open. I really prefer gold on this trade. I don't want to trade the ES on this trade. I'll set it up and we can look at it, but I don't want to trade the ES because the ES is too volatile on the open. Okay, it's just too darn volatile. One of the tests that we used was a bracket of 5, a target of 4, 10, and 9. Stop of 9. Target of 4, target of 10, stop of 9. And you're going to have to forgive me for going a little fast now because there's 2 trades in a row. I want to be set up. And my entry time, Steve T, entry time 9:45. Okay. Entry time 9:45. ES Flash Manufacturing. All right. Those are my tests. I'm more interested in gold on this report. Do you mean 9:45 or you mean 8:45? Don't forget to check your time, okay? It's just a volatile time of the day, Ford. That first half hour, it's busy. You're going to get, it's the whole scenario of no matter what's going on in the market, you're going to get big moves almost always because everybody's all pent up from the night before, the day before. And Globex is trading and people feel like they're missing out, right? So this is the news we're looking at. Like I said, I would like to see gold appear to work on this trade. But look at the volatility of gold. This could be a morning that we're not able to take this trade. It's possible. Okay. So 1 second. Okay, so it's a bit of volatility that if I were trading live, I might be a little bit worried about it. But it's also the time of day. We always say we don't want the market to scare us out of the trades, right? You don't want the market to scare you out of the trade. All right, so I'm watching. Gold is pretty volatile. I would probably seriously consider, well, it's marginal. It's marginal. I'm leaving the test trade on. The reason the market looks at this report, especially, is because there's manufacturing data in it and it's preliminary data. And right after the report, I can't stay in long. I have to go right to existing homes. And it might be just too darn soon, too fast. So here comes the report. Let's see, A, has it come out on time? Oh man, a perfect gold trade. Okay. That was a perfect gold trade. Fast, but not so fast that it didn't work. And then the ES would have killed you. So it's exactly what I said. No ES. I would not trade the ES on this. We'll come back to this. We'll come back to this. Okay. We'll come back to this. The news was very positive. Okay. Very positive. Perfect move at a gold. Perfect move. So, I mean, we've been looking at this report, and our records are showing that it's a report that can be traded. Okay. So, that's the end of my testing on that report. That's the end of my testing on that report. Okay. I'm gonna trade it going forward. And I don't mind. I'm not gonna cry because I missed it. Because look at gold now. Gold's moving crazy. So let's look at the DMM real quick. We don't have a lot of time. Chantal, after existing homes. I want to thank our YouTube folks for watching. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Give us a like and sign up for notifications if you would. We would really enjoy that, having you be a member of our YouTube channel. Forgive me, hang on. Existing homes. So last month, existing homes traded with consumer confidence. Impossible to tell which one mattered. Usually, consumer confidence is the bigger report. Usually, okay? Negative, but it filled the wrong way. So that tells me the bracket is too small. It was too small, but it worked, which is kind of crazy. It worked part of the way, and then it reversed, okay? And then it reversed. Existing homes by itself in November, trading on gold. Good news. And not really much of a move, okay? So existing homes, now moved a little bit late. It would have filled us. Moved a little bit late. And then it would have worked, okay? And then it would have worked. So here's the DMM. And there's a whole bunch of things I want to talk about after we're done with this trade. And actually after natural gas and oil, really. So existing homes, there's a coin toss, okay? Tiny targets, risk of $200. Since the world crisis began, it didn't start. You know, you just look at the trading. September, October was weak. It was better early in the crisis. Okay. It's a pretty small trade with a stop of 11. So right now it's 3 wins, 2 losses, and a cancel. 3 wins, 2 losses, and a cancel. So it's a bracket of 6. One target of 3 ticks, which I agree with. A target of 7 ticks, which might be small, but it seems like it's not moving much. And a stop of 11. Entry, the entry is scary. 959.58. Scary because news has been coming out late. Right? I would be more prone to enter this trade at 10 o'clock. Right? But I'm supposed to be trading, as we all know, unless it's absolutely awful, the reports, I'm supposed to trade. That's my job on something like existing homes. This is not a trade I would trade with my family's money. You know, there's maybe 7 trades a month I would trade with my family's money on average. No, there's more. There's more. Some of them are duplicates. In other words, they trade over and over. So I'm going to risk this one because I'm supposed to. My first trade The flash manufacturing, that's an unofficial trade. But the way it's been trading, I'd like to get my boss to create a report for it. And if he isn't able to do it or doesn't want to do it, and sometimes he just doesn't think it's good enough, then I could create a mini report for it. But especially after the way it behaves today, and especially after our testing results, I'm interested in trading it next month. Okay. So you have to notate, don't let the market scare you out of the trade. That becomes a part of your journal. And I'm just watching the ES on the right. I'm not trading it. Check my time. Chantal, you heard me, right? After existing homes. I think existing home sales are going to be great. They're going to be fantastic. If there's enough inventory. That's the question. Is there enough inventory? Chantal, can you hear me on YouTube still? I did something and I want to know if you can hear me. Right now. Can you hear me right now? Answer me again. Can you hear me right now? It's really important that you tell me. Just do it for 1 second. Just do it for 1 second, no? It's really important that you tell me, because how do you know if you can hear me then? I don't care if it doubles the sound. Okay, now you can close it. Thank you. I just needed to do something so I can hear. I want to listen to the news. And it means I have to have my settings a certain way. All right, so I want to thank so many people for being here. I want to tell you what happened to me, what my experience was getting vaccinated, and tell you how I got lucky enough to get vaccinated, although I really don't feel well, to be honest. I feel really sick. Not so sick that I can't trade, but I don't feel well. My arm, I can't move my arm. Also, the arm pain is the worst. They say the second shot is the most side effects. So I got the Moderna vaccine. Somebody who loves me, a family member, waited on the Rite Aid website for hours. And sometimes if you go to the Rite Aid vaccine website or their main website, it gives you the option to wait in a line to get signed up. And it might say like there's 500 people in front of you. Wait and we'll give you an appointment. And you might wait an hour, 2 hours, and then you'll get a message there's no appointments. But someone was able to get me an appointment, and they send you a confirmation. And my son drove me, and me and my son together. Sometimes it's a really scary combination, because if things don't go right perfectly, we have a complete meltdown into total insanity, where he's yelling and I'm yelling and neither of us can make a phone call and we can't think straight and we're just totally melted down. And that's exactly what happened. my worry was I was going to be late for my appointment and I wouldn't get the vaccine. So of course I was like a nervous wreck. And I'm not usually a nervous kind of person. Really, I'm not. And I'll stop talking about this when we get a minute before the trade. So make a long story short, we're relaxed and we're driving and frickin' Rite Aid puts the wrong address on the email. So we pull up into a laundromat, and there's people there, and you know, in this world, you're thinking to yourself, okay, they're giving shots at the laundromat. And I mean, it was a really scary area of town. It was a weird looking place, everything about, and we just started melting down, screaming at each other. This can't be the place. It's not the place. We're in the wrong place. Where do we go? It's not going to be in a Rite Aid store. That's insane. It's that vaccination center. And then we look over, like over to the left, and like 5 blocks away, there's a Rite Aid store. And we walk into the store. There's not a single person in the store, except like maybe 4 customers picking up prescriptions. And as sure as I'm sitting here, that's where I got my vaccine. It was the right place. It was the wrong address. I mean, they couldn't even email the right address. And I was like, I thought I was going to have to wait hours and hours and hours and hours. And I figured I'd also get my clothes cleaned while I waited. I said, wow, this is a bonus. You know, you get a vaccine shot, you get your laundry done. What could be better? It's just I didn't want to take the vaccine naked. The only clothes I had were the clothes on my back. I'm a little bit concerned about getting filled early. I'm concerned about our setup. But I'm doing what my boss tells me to do on this trade. See, we're on the wrong side of life. Okay, folks, that's a miracle. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why that's a miracle gift. It's not a news. It's the sales are good. It should have gone down. That's why I moved my target. I want it out of the trade. I want it out of the trade. I'm being honest. That I'm feeling very frustrated. Let me tell you why I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated because our setup was not correct. You can't enter the market at 58 with the volatility of these markets, right? Mark, please tell me what you uploaded. Teach me something, Mark. What is it? What is it? How do I turn it on, Mark? Mark, you understand that's why you and I are here together, right? Because I appreciate all your help. There's a little bell next to the clock. A clock? I don't have a clock. Let me cancel my trade. Hang on one second, if you can bear with me, Mark. Okay, we made $100. I'm perfectly happy about that. But the report was bullish, like I said it would be, but gold moved in the direction that it should not have moved. But look how bullish gold has been since the open, okay? Since the market opened. So we're fighting the direction of gold, right? We're fighting the direction of gold before the market, I mean, after the market opened is what I mean, after the market opened. Targets were way too small. Mark, explain to me real quickly that feature, because I'm not aware of it. Right, gold continued with the trend. We got lucky, but it moved. Chantal makes a good point, but it worked normally on the manufacturing report. Why? Because manufacturing is more important than existing home sales. Everybody expected the home sales to be good. So gold did not have a big reaction. That's my opinion. Okay. So Mark, explain to me where click the bell. What bell? That bell? No. On my left. Where the heck is a bell? Am I not seeing it? Go to a new report on the news list. Do you mean this? The colored dots? Under the little orange dot. My bells are grayed out. Okay, your bells are not. So it might be something in my settings. So here's my bells. I'm not going to say it. Here's my bells. If I click the bell, I see what they're doing. Okay. That's interesting. They don't give you the number. It says 656. I have to type it in. Then my bell is alive. I saved it. And then what happens? So when the news happens, it will say sell or bell, sell or buy, based off that level. Okay. Hey, that's kind of interesting. I didn't know that. I'm listening, Mark. I'm listening. So, Mark, you know what my question is. First of all, how do I know that their levels are good? And am I going to have time to even pay attention when I'm in the middle of a trade? I'm listening. I'm just conversation, Mark. Conversation. Don't hold back. Conversation. Are you saying that you prefer to look at financial juice above and below above and beyond investing.com? It was matching the expected. So not according to investing.com, right? It was a good 20,000 6.76 million, and there was 6.55 million. I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm listening. You can set up the bells at the beginning of the day. Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay. So what you're telling me that that you're finding their levels are accurate? Are you trading off their levels? Is that what you're telling me? Or are you putting in your own values? You like their levels. Excuse me, folks. Okay. Mark, I totally understand. I'm gonna fool around with it. Good question. Why do you think gold should have sold off? I mean, it didn't. It didn't. Mark, keep talking. I'm just, and then I'll go to oil or gas. My theory based on the news, based on the fact that I understand. I understand. Okay. I hope we're not confusing everybody. Folks, we're talking about one of the tools that we use, Financial Juice Pro. And Mark is one of our members, obviously, and he's just telling me about some features of Financial Juice Pro that I have not been using. That's all. Okay. Okay. That's all we're doing. Let's move to natural gas because that's our next trade. That's not good news that the ECB head, Lagarde, is saying that the Eurozone is in a new recession. Now, the United States, the problems we have are so overwhelming. You've got 1% of the people involved in the stock market, right? And that's why the stock market doesn't affect most normal people. Some people do have retirement accounts, obviously, yes, connected into the stock market. Other than that, I challenge you to find me the man on the street that even looks at the stock market, other than what he hears on the news. You know, some people use Robinhood, buy stocks with those apps, but I don't know how they support financial news channels with 1% of the country caring about what those stocks do. The complicated factor is that how goes the stock market does not have a lot to do with what's going on out on the street and whether or not people can feed their families and whether or not people have jobs. There's such a disconnect in our lives today that the level of confusion that we live with, I think it's overwhelming. I think it's just overwhelming right now. That's all the more reason why we have to try to work together to solve these problems. Because the problems are overwhelming. And that's not even talking about whether you believe in climate change or don't believe in climate change. Did you ever watch the movie Interstellar? Watch the movie Interstellar. YouTube folks, thank you so much for watching. We made $100 in a couple of seconds on the existing home sale. The flash manufacturing trade would have been a winner had we traded it. Go to our website, www.10minutetrades.com, 10minutetrades.com if you'd like to learn more about what we do. At a minimum, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And thank you for coming. And we're going to shut down our stream now, folks, on YouTube. Thank you. My name is Lee Goldstein, and I'm the trading director at 10 Minute Trades. Thanks for joining us.